Hey guys, my name is whayes, and I'll be your host today as we explore the world of college housing. In this short video guide, we'll go over a ton of topics, so feel free to pause and read the slides at any time. So we'll be focusing on a number of topics today surrounding housing. What on-campus housing is, how does it look, how long are you required to live on campus, how does it compare to off-campus housing, and what happens if on-campus housing fills up. We'll also cover additional stuff, like what an RA is, what they do, and what accommodations for medical issues may look like. Off the bat, let's look at why we might want to live on campus. For a lot of institutions, they might require your student to live on campus for a year or more. Some might not have that requirement, but many will. Still, on-campus housing can be attractive because its proximity to classes, friends, the campus culture, and resources mean that students' needs may be met more effectively. Some students even find they prefer living on campus for this reason. However, some drawbacks to living on campus can include limited access to cars or other forms of transportation, meaning a lot of walking, or distance from grocery stores, making you depend on restaurants and dining halls for food. In college, you'll have to choose between a number of various housing types. These determine the likelihood of having a roommate in your room, as well as your access to a kitchen and a bathroom. Firstly, if you live on campus, except for personal circumstance or plain luck, you are likely going to have a roommate to live with. However, you can likely join online groups on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, or other social media to find a good match for you and your living style. Some schools may also employ roommate matching based on a quiz you fill out with your housing application. Either way, you'll have to learn to live with somebody you might have never met before. The main difference between on-campus options is their access to kitchen and bathroom spaces. In hall-style dorms, everyone on the floor shares one or two large, multi-toilet, multi-shower, multi-sink bathroom spaces in a similar style to a gym locker room. In suite-style dorms, 2 to 4 rooms all share a bathroom with one toilet and one shower, with 1 or 2 sinks. Apartment-style dorms could have more than one bathroom, but there is likely a ratio of 2 people per bathroom and possibly 2 people per bedroom. Now for kitchens, it is likely only one kitchen for every floor, or possibly only one for every other floor. As such, it's important to bring a microwave and any other cooking appliance that is allowed in your housing agreement. This way, you can cook in your dorm if needed. Apartment-style dorms are likely to have in-suite kitchens, but bringing your own appliances in this case is still a good idea. Now, off-campus differs from all of these by simply not being dorms, but they are likely to be most similar to apartment-style dorms. You are more likely to have a single room off campus, but sometimes they may have more than one person to a room to accommodate for lower costs or higher proximity to campus. It's also worth noting that apartments could be different complex to complex, but dorms will always be more consistent, room to room. Now, is off-campus housing really cheaper? The answer is, it depends. Sometimes it very much can be, in terms of the ticket price of rent. However, it may be that the maintenance isn't as reliable on campus, you might be required to pay for utilities that aren't included with your rent such as water, electricity, and internet, and it may be more difficult to consistently get to class or stay connected to campus. When it comes to deciding that from a price standpoint, you have to look at what you need as a student. Now, here's some true and false questions. First, you will get whatever dorm you apply for. The answer? False. There is no guarantee you will get a given dorm. You will fill out an application and indicate a preference, but you may end up in a building similar or completely different. It's a good idea to be prepped for any of the rooms you might get placed in when making your application. Second, will you get your deposit back if you change your mind? The answer? No, you likely will not get your deposit if you make one on a dorm. It's for the best you are absolutely sure you want to live in a given dorm before you make that deposit. With all this talk about living in a dorm and what it may look like, I'm sure you're wondering, what if the housing fills up? It tends to be up in the air, but many institutions will work to make sure that students that need housing can get it. Sometimes that means working with local hotels, hospitals, or other nearby colleges with openings. Campuses may also choose to overcrowd rooms, but this is more rare. However, rest assured that many colleges are also beginning to build more dorms as their class sizes increase, but they may also be renovating their other dorms. Be sure to look at the availability of housing before you commit to a given institution, especially as the costs of housing increase. Moving on, you've probably heard about RAs as you prepared for college. Now, as an ex-RA, I'm here to tell you what an RA is meant to do. They are a walking encyclopedia of campus resources and dorm rules. They also plan and host various events in the dorms meant to create a sense of community for those who live there. Now, that doesn't mean they aren't also there to maintain some level of order in the dorm. They also enforce dorm safety standards, which they will likely make sure you know as you move in, and there will be RAs on duty every night to keep an eye on things as well as help people once service desks close. One thing to keep in mind though, they are not your enemy. They may ask to meet with you throughout the year or try to make sure the dorm operates a certain way, but they truly want the best for everyone in the dorm at the end of the day. Now, for medical accommodations, institutions have offices dedicated to ensuring students can get proper accommodations for people with medical needs. To obtain those that you may need, research the office for these at your institutions and make sure to fill out any forms and have any meetings that they may require. It's different for every institution what exactly is needed, so check up on that and research thoroughly. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for listening. If you need anything at all or have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out at my email listed here on the slide. Once again, I'm WH Hayes, and I hope you have an excellent day.